even though it's been named this since the changeover. This is technically the official opening, and the add-ons and changes to the building have been fantastic, and Martin Brodeur has seen them all.
He certainly has. Martin Brodeur, 41 years old, epic, Hall of Famer. Everybody agrees. I don't know who he's going to try to impress tonight. His team play against the Senators, or maybe his son Anthony, another goaltender who's in the crowd tonight, drafted by the New Jersey Devils. Another special occasion for the great goaltender Marty Brodeur.
Well, the other end of the ice, as you would expect, the number one goalie on this team. Greg Anderson will get the start for the Senators in their first regular season home game.
You know, you always draw on positives, and for Greg Anderson, his record against the New Jersey Devils, 6-2-1, is a good one. Save percentage, .942. And it's been a tough go for goaltenders for the Ottawa Senators starting the season, but you got to believe Anderson is coming in with a lot of confidence. 37 shots against in Phoenix, gets the win. Now they're back home for the first game of this season on home ice.
Marty Brodeur actually last year, Denny, had his worst year ever against the Ottawa Senators. Because of the compressed schedule, they only played 3 times, and Brodeur lost all of them. He was 0-2-1 last year against the Ottawa Senators. He's never gone through a season where he's played against Ottawa and not won at least 1 game. Off the draw, Devils dump it in. Carlson tips it along the boards. Spezza wheels it back out to center. Volchenko flips it back down inside the Ottawa end. Speeding in to get it, putting on the brakes. Steven Gianna back in the net, he sends it along the boards. Steve Bernier couldn't get to it. Spezza again clears it up. Conacher tries to throw it down to the line, but couldn't connect with McCulloch. Devils dump it back, and again, Ottawa back to get it. New Jersey has made their full change. Ottawa, their line is still out there. Spezza goes to the wing for McCulloch. Couldn't connect with him, icing the call, and this line now has to stay out there. As we have a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee.
When you're talking about New Jersey Devils, it always goes back to the fact they may be old, they may have slow foot speed. That's why the Ottawa Senators need to bring their speed to the table right from the start. And for the New Jersey Devils, well, I'm saying, look, Pete DeBoer knows he doesn't really want to play the old 90s trap that New Jersey made famous, but if you're lacking in a lot of areas, you almost have to keep the game at 0-0 to give yourself a chance. So watch for the Devils to really clog up the neutral zone, really be patient, much like what we've always seen from them, and they will try and hurt you on the counter.
These two teams, Danny, we talked about this before. The games are always, there's such little to choose between the two, no matter what the standings say. 8 of the last 10 games between these two teams have been decided by a single goal, and 25 of the last 31 games. That's 8 seasons. 25 of 31 have been decided by 2 goals or less. Devils again inside the zone. Elias tried to tip it through. Back along the boards, trying to get a cycle game going. Elias high slot. Can't get a shot away. Leads it in the corner. Centering pass back out front. Anderson slid across, but the puck never got to him. And now along the boards, Phillips trying to force it back to the line and does, but not out. Puck is held in there by Yager. Still along the boards, Yager couldn't get it by Ryan, but Ryan couldn't get it out. Back to the point. Green with a shot through traffic. Deflects, and now Phillips sends it ahead and all the way back down ice. And another icing call, and we are 1:23 into this game, and all minute 23 of it has been in Ottawa's end.
Adam Henrique had a terrific year as your rookie year, 51 points. They want him to get back to that. I talked to him today, very positive young kid, but this is my own opinion. He might be distracted by the fact that on one side is Yager, the other side is Elias, and he's probably going, sir, 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 sir. A couple of veterans on either wing. The boy trying to see if he can get a match there somehow.
Just couldn't get it out. Well, in the case of Yager at 41, he actually is old enough to be Henrique's father. At 23, Henrique is. His actual family, Henrique, has a farm in southwestern Ontario where they grow both tobacco and ginseng. Not a traditional combination of crops, but that's what the Henrique family grows.
Well, they both come from the Leaf, right? There's Pete DeBoer right there, who is, you know, a guy who has sort of been handled a pretty bad table setting when you figure over the last couple of years since he's been coached, he's lost Zach Parise, Kovalchuk, and Dave Clarkson. So you've lost leadership, goal scoring and toughness. 0-3. We talked about that in our open. Okay, that is a tough loss. As bad as any franchise has suffered, I think.
You try to remember somebody that's lost more key components, it's pretty hard to make up a list. Puck is tipped back to the line and out. Smith along the boards. Neal comes across and he blasts Loktionov into the boards. Loktionov at only 5'11". Spinning shot, loose puck, side of the net. Jared Cowan tries to clear it. Anderson out of the net, stumbles back. He tries to get back in the way once again. Cowan knocks down his man as he puts Loktionov to the ice. Senators in their own zone now trying to work it out. Cross ice pass in the neutral zone. Weirkosh has to back out to get control and get around Derek Nansen. Gets to center and fires it into the zone. Off the board, Zalicki couldn't handle it. Kassian comes through, picks up the puck. Tries to cycle it back along the boards as he deals with two Devils. Now off the boards. Andy Green out the other side. Sends the puck ahead back to center. Carlson comes across, swings it back out to the neutral zone, but no way Gianta could go in. He still had Carter trapped inside the Ottawa end. Here's Carlson now in front of his own net, just pulls away from Carter. Out to center. Through the middle. Pajot goes to the wing. Here's Condra. Condra sends it in front for a tip. It hits Pajot in the back of the leg. To the line. Pajot stripped of the puck. Centering pass. Trickles to the net. As then Moffat puts the shoulder down and takes Gianta down as the puck dribbles into Anderson.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate.
To take a look, but forget the number, okay? That's not the point of what I'm pointing out. What I'm pointing out is why the Senators have had so many shots against. Look at how Cowan goes after the puck, doesn't eliminate the guy. The guy keeps the puck, makes a pass, another shot against. That's where the Senators, in my view, have really been in a rough patch, is eliminating the opponent in your own zone so they don't get a shot at making that extra pass.
McCulloch along the boards, loses the puck. Here's Henrique with it now. Sends it ahead and out to center. Green gets to the line, fires it around the boards. McCulloch tips it back out to center. That forces Green to glide back to his own end to pick it up. Here's Andy Green. Lead pass to Harold. Harold sends it all the way down ice. And this one whistled down. And the puck will come all the way back down for a face-off inside the Jersey zone.
Well, the first game at home for the much anticipated play of Bobby Ryan. I don't think anybody can be disappointed the way he has started on the road. Not an easy place for him being in California. He had an entourage and fans wherever he went, but he sure delivered. 3 goals in 3 games. And an attitude that seems to fit right in. Easy-going guy who just wants to play hockey.
On the boards. Chopped by Ryan out to center. Here's Turris. Sends it around the boards. Brodeur out of the net. Skids the puck along the wall. MacArthur comes in, puts a hit on Harold. Back to the point. Ryan swings it across. Carlson. Ryan fires. Scores! Erik Karlsson. 1-0 Ottawa.
They love him here in Ottawa, and he is loving this moment. It has been a grind for Karlsson, but watch how he follows the play. Erik Karlsson stays very much within the gap space. He is now hunkered over, waiting for the pass to come. This is the beauty, though. He keeps his head up, and unfortunately for Marty Brodeur, the incessant demand by coaches to try and block shots makes the fact that Volchenkov gives Brodeur no chance at making that save. A good, well-placed shot for a kid who really needed it. Karlsson gets it on the board, the first goal for his Senator hockey team.
Puck is deflected down inside the New Jersey end. I got Zubas along the boards, couldn't go anywhere with it. Now he gets it back, deflected off his stick, and Weirkosh goes cross ice. The line, Colin Greening slips the puck to the corner. Salvador and Neal go in together. Puck is escaping. Bounces across and Larson clears it away. Karlsson from Ryan. We open up the scoring. Weirkosh steers it to the boards. Nobody there with his colored jersey. Tries to steal it back. Gianna falls, and the puck is cleared off the boards and back out again by Ryan Carter. Chris Neal has it poked off his stick by Carter. Technically, when you line them up for New Jersey, this is technically their third or fourth line. Ironically enough, it's been the line that's produced the most offense. Mostly because Brunner is on the line, and he's their number one offensive guy right now.
Yeah, 3 goals, 2 assists for the newly acquired winger.
Brunner, of course, was in Detroit last year. There's Erik Karlsson. Steers it up the boards. Out the center, lead pass. Spezza to the line with Conacher. Spezza drops it. Conacher cuts in. Tries to give it back to him, but he's taken down as he tries to get through the crowd.
Now, it looked worse than it was. There was a line change going on. That's why Conacher looked like he was trying to beat 1-on-4, but his line mates went around.
Elias to the corner. Walkout play, backhander, knocked down by Anderson. As he basically just took the whole angle away from Yager. Spezza lobs it in, icing waved off. Devils try to bounce it back to center. It is tipped by Elias. No, didn't get a tip on it. Here's Driver back to pick it up. Driver gets in the middle of 2 Devils. Continues to battle to get the puck up along the boards. Now gets it back again. This tip to the line, and again the Senators having trouble getting out of their own zone. Here's MacArthur, long lead pass to Bobby Ryan. Ryan fires, and that one partially deflected by Larson. It goes low and wide. Here's Turris on the pickup. Back in that, Ryan tries to wrap around, scores! Bobby Ryan! 2-0 Ottawa!
What a homecoming for Bobby Ryan. Yeah, they're putting up numbers for him already. 30 goals, yeah, that's a sure thing. Maybe 40. But there are new rules in the game that I believe affected the ability here to Marty Brodeur to really anticipate. The net a little shallower. You can make that wraparound a little quicker. There's also the fact the pads may be a little bit shorter. But we've seen a couple of goals go by Marty Brodeur that I don't think in the past you would have seen. They're both ending up going between the legs. And right now, the coach is making an executive decision. He is calling a timeout. Not a change of goaltending, but a timeout. And that is as much to say, Marty, settle down. I know things are not going very well. That might have been certainly a goal that or a puck that you should have had. The young coach, the Hall of Famer, that is definitely a shot that Marty is expected to get. And so a little bit of a breather given to him by a coach who uses his only timeout.
Karlsson lays the puck ahead. Zach Smith into the zone. Backhander swings it in front. It goes off Salvador's skate and nearly into the net. Back to the point. Karlsson was waiting for it, but it bobbled at the line. Zajac sends it all the way back down ice. Colin Greening speeds back together. Method along the boards. It trickles by him. Smith comes in. Puck's deflected side of the net. Here's Greening now off the boards, and Chris Neal tries to slap it wide side, bouncing puck. Method just steers it back out to the neutral zone. The line, Green in, but offside the call as Zubris is in way ahead of the puck. Now the Ottawa Senators right now have had a grand total of 2 shots on goal and scored 2 goals on those shots. And lead 2-0 here in period number 1, just the way you want to start things off on a home opener. Face-off will come back outside the line after that whistle. Face-off all the way back down inside the Devils' end.
Well, Paul McLean had to do things that a lot of coaches have to do, but it gets stressful. Had to move a lot of people around on the West Coast trip. And I think for Paul McLean, a trip like that, wow. That right off the goalpost.
Right off the goalpost from Milan McCulloch as he chimed the iron there. You know what, Denny? The changes in the last game, the Phoenix game, which of course they won. If we have a look at the iron shot there.
Ooh.
The Bobby Ryan moving off the Spezza line didn't really surprise me. You know what did surprise me, and we saw it, was the shuffling on defense where Erik Karlsson almost played with every other defenseman because it's pretty much been locked in. You know, Methot and Karlsson, Cowan and Weirkosh, Phillips and either Joe Corvo or Eric Gryba. And that was the first game this year of all the games where you really saw Karlsson with everybody. And there was a less pairs and more an Erik Karlsson carousel.
Well, you know, Dean, as well as anybody, the guys on the ice have to get out of their comfort zone sometimes. And that can do it with changing partners.
Karlsson with a shot that misses. Spezza takes it off the wall. Spezza down low pressure. Jam it back and front. Loose pucks out of the net. Scramble. They're still digging for it. Comes back to the point. Krafat blows his stick in half with the shot. Carter clears it out. Gianna whips it ahead. Here's a change at the last second. Gryba put in a bad spot. Anderson makes the save and holds on. Mafat tried to hustle as best he could to get back to the bench, and instead of getting a new stick, just got off. Gryba walked on and had a rush on him right away.
Well, I think we'll see the communication didn't quite get to Karlsson because he had the opportunity really to get back. Watch how first we'll see the scramble in front of the net. Who said that scramble?
Might have been me.
Scramble! Very well done. This is after this is where the stick situation happened, and you know you've got to cover for your line, your defense partner a lot. And when the thought broke his stick, had Karlsson been aware, he'll drop back a little bit.
Devils lose the puck and they have to come back out. Salvador at his own line. Tries to float the puck ahead. Henrique, in the first place, was in the zone. Didn't keep it under control, but couldn't keep it alive inside the Ottawa line. And Salvador back to get it. Swats it back to the Ottawa line. That goes off a skate. Bouncing puck. Gryba finds the handle on it. And two big Saskatoon boys on this team. He and Jared Cowan. Henrique picks up the puck. Bobby Ryan, though, holds it in, sends it to the high slot, hits the back of the skate of Clark MacArthur. Henrique, he whistles it down to the line for Yager, but he takes it in the skate. Elias dumps it in. Full five-man change for the Devils. Ottawa changing as well. Gryba gets to center. Taken off the puck by Zajac. He got his skates behind Gryba, then pulled him off. We're going to get a penalty call here. A little bit of a slew foot there, and I think that's going to be a hooking call. There's a bit of surfing, a bit of slew footing involved in that, and for all of those things, Zajac will go off for 2.
Well, the 8-year guy, he's got an 8-year deal, Zajac, one of those guys that's going to be there for the rest of his career. And you see that right call. I tell you, that wasn't such a bad play as much as the referee making a decision that it was a dangerous play. And I think that's why the call was made, and I totally agree with it.
He doesn't get the right leg out and take out Gryba's leg. It's just a play.
Yeah.
Sounders on the power play. Here's Karlsson. Changes the line. Spezza now. Trying to get someone to come down and chase it. Karlsson gets it through the box to Phillips. And Spezza hit him with a pass that was just too hard to handle.
Well, you got to have soft hands to pick that up.
Karlsson. Get it back. Phillips takes a shot. It goes off Brodeur, and now everyone's searching for it.
I don't know if Billy is all that. It's all that automatic for him to be on the offense on the power play. That was a terrific play by Conacher. But I think both plays, Phillips not able to handle a puck. That's a big slap shot. You got to have that. It is a hard pass, but I'll tell you what, you got to have that. And then Conacher does the play. Watch this. This is so good. I think Phillips was again surprised by the fact that the puck came right back to him. The puck movement right here is as good as we've seen in 2 weeks, which means the beginning of the season.
During his days in junior, Prince Albert Raiders, Lethbridge Broncos, played the power play all the time. For the bulk of his NHL career, never did. Here's Spezza. And Paul McLean last year started putting him back on the power play, and it's certainly coming, but Karlsson whips it across. Gets it back, tries to one-time it to move it around, and Conacher just missed on the last pass.
What a good play there by Karlsson. He's really, really seeing the game.
Karlsson holds it in, but the play is whistled down as he gloved the puck ahead to himself. And so the faceoff will come outside the line.
You know, I made this mention while on the West Coast. The other teams, you could hear the puck tick-tock kind of plays. Now you're seeing the Ottawa Sounders do that There was no hesitation moving the puck east-west.
Well, power play currently ranked 17th in the NHL.
Interestingly enough, you look it up, and these two teams have 15 power play opportunities coming into tonight. That's the fewest in the NHL. Fewest.
Gosh, back to the corner, centering pass. MacArthur couldn't get a shot away, but held in by Carlson. Mierkosh to Carlson. Mierkosh works it across. The one-timer through the box, the extra pass. And Bobby Ryan was one pass too many, and it's cleared back down ice.
And also maybe not knowing or not taking for granted or not automatic, but he put it on the wrong side of his line mate, Turris. Turris is a right-hand shot.
Brodeur clears it, knocked down by MacArthur, and the loose one sent back down ice by Larson.
I think I saw Ryan give Turris a little tap on the legs on the way back, basically realizing I'm not going to do that again.
Penalty has expired. Down to the line. Smith for Neal. Neal gets a hip check from Green. Now Green along the boards. Tries to slide it back to Neal on the point. Rod comes down to hold it in. Now Ryder out to center. To the line. Zajac dumps it in. Here's Methot together. Methot along the boards. Steers the puck ahead. And the Sounders can't get out of it. Backhand doesn't get through. Ryder just trying to get something to the net. Penalty call is on the way against Methot as he spun Ryder to the ice. There's a long shot. Anderson knocks it down and holds it. And holding will be the call against Mark Methot. A 2-0 lead late in period.
Now Methot goes to the corner, and I think what got him is the fact that that left arm was loose and got to the front of the other body. That's what the referee saw right away. And then Chris Rooney made the call. So sometimes hard to understand, but there are things that are going to be shaky. If you take one hand off your stick, you're risking. If you put your stick between the other player's legs, you're risking that it's just going to be an automatic call.
Off the draw, Cowan clears it out. Pass for Eliash, knocked down, stolen away by Zach Smith. Zach Smith, shorthanded with speed, fires it in. And that one stung Brodeur. He took it in the shoulder, and that one hurt him.
Not a very good night for Marty Brodeur. Before that shot, he had faced 4 shots. 2 of them were goals, and 1 was a goal post. Not exactly what you would figure. And the 5th shot has hurt him.
Yeah.
They have to take a look at it now. Brodeur is now visibly moving his left arm, visibly in pain. I don't know why there isn't. Of course, the timeout has already been taken.
Yeah, they can't let him recover. He's got to.
But if he's got an injury, he puts one knee down, he would be allowed to a little time to at least check how he's doing. That seems like more than a stinger.
Right off the collarbone. Here's Ryder. Eliash moves in. His shot easily knocked away by Anderson. Cross-ice pass. Zajac knocks it down, but Turris knocks it away from him. Here's MacArthur. Turris shorthanded. MacArthur with a shot right on. Brodeur the save and holds on for a face-off. Seems to be okay, but still seems a little slow with that left arm. Took it right in the collarbone.
We always say up here, we see everything up here. Had MacArthur seen what we saw, he might have tried to go to the glove side, make him lift the hand instead of going 5-hole. That one handled by Marty Brodeur. But as we often say, folks, we see so much from up here, and the game has slowed down about 60%. So we see a lot that players who are out on the ice don't see.
The ice level of this game now is so unbelievably fast. Like NASCAR before the restrictor plates. Cowan gets his stick in. Pajot pops it up in the air. Everybody waiting for it. Cowan delays and sends it all the way back down ice. The delay, not knowing that he had a player behind him, could have been costly. Here's sending back up ice. Here's Peter Harold. Harold flips it in, goes to chase it himself. Anderson out of the net, plays it to the boards. Back to the net now. Laid along the boards, back to the point. Unable to do much with it. Brunner can't even get a shot through, and Ottawa clears it back down ice.
Being strong on his stick, which he is, Spezza there, and Brunner never let him get a pass or a shot away.
I mentioned earlier that's one of the other things. A lot of the younger players on this New Jersey team are not big guys. As Phillips buries his man. Jason Spezza is 6'3". Brunner is 5'11". One of 8 players on this New Jersey team now, Danny, that's 6 feet or less. It's in many areas just not a big team. And you look at some of the young guys. And Tedenby is 5'9". Brunner's 5'10". Loktionov is 5'11". Gionta's 5'7". It's tough to play. It's a big man's game in a lot of cases.
And we'd like to be able to say in their behalf that they're really fast, but they're not.
A couple of guys are fast and they're shifty, but I'm not sure you can play 8 of them on your roster and be successful in today's game is my point. I'm not sure you can have that many smallish guys.
Montreal Canadiens found that out. They're continuously trying to get bigger and stronger. You just have to do it. I mean, you don't have to be a physical player, but if you're 210 pounds versus 189, just go figure.
Bouncing puck. Yeah, physics is not on your side. Back to the net. Here's Chris Neal. Tried to tip it back in front for Greeny. Out of the corner. He has tipped it away from Zach Smith. Fully aware of what was coming had he held on to the puck.
Well, you know, in Brian Murray's development of this team, we've mentioned it several times, you know, they may not have all the experience in the world. You take out Phillips, and the Ottawa Senators defense corps had a combined 772 NHL games played. That's all five guys other than Phillips. But they're all averaging 6'4", 220. That's could be winning.
Bernier comes flying in. Here's Carter. Back to the point. Zalewski with a shot through traffic. It's knocked down and steered to the corner by Weirkosh. Cowan's trying to get his stick free. In so, he'll draw a penalty call as that stick got wrapped around Steven Gionta. And so another power play for the Devils when we return to Canadian.
Well, the penalty is happening right there. I mean, this is Gionta at 5'7" or 6", just being manhandled, and that's why he gets the penalty or draws it. Maybe one of the bad sides of the lopsided, size of the two players.
Down is 6'5", 6'6", in that neighborhood, and just struggle to try and get his stick down in the process. And go over Gionta. Here's Zajac back on the point. Phillips along the boards. Tries to slip it to a friendly stick on the other side. Ryder goes to chase him. Ryder back to the point. Gets it across. Zajac shot. Partially blocked by Condra out the other side. Puck is lying in behind the net. Back to the point. Zajac gets it across. Return feed now. Here's Elias looking for a tip. Save is made by Anderson. Looking for the rebound. It's steered to the corner. Condra got it back to the corner after Anderson lost track of it. Ryder back through the box. Jágr side of the net. Here's Jágr. Tries to tap it back with Phillips. Gets him his way. Back to the point. Elias sends it. Gets it across. There's a shot. Blocked by Greiba. And it's sent all the way back down ice by Zach Smith. Greiba. None the worse for wear after that block.
Shaved off that massive beard he had. Seems to be moving a little easier.
Found a pack of gum and 6 crackers in the beard when he shaved. Henrique slides it across. He had the true thick mountain man there. It looked like he'd been in Alaska for a year or so. Carlson takes down his man. Back to the point. Here's Harold. Wheels it back. Henrique moves in. His shot right on. Save is made by Anderson. Rebound back on the stick of Henrique. Low to the corner. The walk-in play. Anderson again makes the save. And Mafat, he just buries Brunner. Henrique again. Down low to the corner. Brunner gets one chance. Gets two. Bouncing puck. And they still can't bury it. Back to the point. Harold with a shot. Deflected in front by Bernier. Turris has now lost his stick. Inadvertently kicks the puck back. We're back to even strength. Cowan comes out of the box and steers the puck to the corner. Penalty call is on the way, and a slashing call is coming. And I believe it's going to go against the Devils as Turris' stick, I believe. Now the Ottawa door is open.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the New Jersey Devils, as I said earlier, they and the Ottawa Senators, fewest power play opportunities in the league coming in. but they sure look good on this one. They jammed the net. They're not big. They really got nailed down by some of the Ottawa defenses. They took them out of the play, but a little tenacity really showed for the New Jersey Devils, and there you saw the penalty. So again,
a little stick to the hip by MacArthur was the slashing penalty got called for. So the third straight power play for the Devils. Anderson covers this up and holds on as the intended exit from the zone didn't go as planned, so they'll start this all over again.
Smart play to put a stoppage to this play. There's too much scrambling going on, and short memory will tell you that Paul McLean said, look, we got into problems because whenever we got anything going on the West Coast, we'd get into penalty trouble. You don't want that to be repeated here, as the Ottawa Senators have taken 2 in a row.
With all these power plays, Devils now have doubled Ottawa on shots, 12-6, back to the point. Dalek overskates the puck. Spezza couldn't clear it. It's a chance in front, and we're going to get a penalty call here as Gryba is upended. So 4-on-4 for the next minute 39. So 99 seconds of 4-on-4. And Ryder complaining about this, but nonetheless he'll go off for tripping.
Well, I tell you, I'm not quite sure what prompted him for doing this. He might have been reaching for the puck and then inadvertently took the skates out from underneath the Gryba, but that's what happened. So he'll take the penalty. I'm watching the New Jersey Devils, and Jagr, who wasn't part of that first power play unit, was just getting on and starting to salivate here at the idea of getting a power play opportunity when things are going well for his team. That nullified it.
Devils 0 for 2 with 6 shots, so half the shots they have in this game have come on the 3 power plays that they have had. And so even strength hockey here, 4-on-4 hockey. Bobby Ryan wins the draw. Here's Carlson. Drops it for Bobby Ryan. Back to the point. His shot. Blocker save from the wall. Here's Mafata, who comes in from the point. Pajot now trying to steal it back. In behind the net, Andy Green with it. And the Devils want the clean and error-free breakout down to the line. Carlson rejects them at the line. Bobby Ryan one-on-one. Couldn't get through the crowd. He's taken down as Mark Zalitsky didn't have to do much. Ryan was seemingly already falling on the banana peel. Down to the corner. Pajot to Ryan back in front. Pajot tried to soft tip it. He gets rocked in the corner by Zalitsky, who's lost his stick, so all he can do is knock people down now. Final minute of play here in the first. Carlson drops it back. Puck is tipped to the boards.
Zalitsky has no stick. That's why he can make those risky passes.
Back across the box. In front, Cowan with a shot. Puck on its edge, rolled up and hit the glass high. And the puck is sent back to the line, knocked down by Cowan. Cowan tries to draw it back at the line, but loses the puck because he got tangled up with Laktianov. On the boards, Cowan now trying to get it back as he spins Larson around and throws him to the ice. So Jared Cowan heading off once again with 27.9 seconds to go in the period.
Hey, Ottawa Senators fans, save on your next Ottawa Senators tickets just by being a CAA member. Become a CAA member today by calling 1-800-JOIN-CAA.
Well, Jared Cowan got an early penalty for roughing up Steven Gionta, and he's going to get another one right here as he spins around Adam Larson, the young defenseman. This is not where you want to go when you've had so much control in this period. Start giving that momentum away because of taking penalties.
Fourth power play of the period for the Devils. 4-on-3 power play. Jagr deals it off. Zalitsky moving in. Gets it back, fires and misses the net. Back to the point. Jagr's 41-year-old wheels can't get there in time to hold the puck in.
Now Zalitsky, 37 years old, should know better. That's a big break for the Senators as they're able to get out of the period and sort of retool because Zalitsky made that big shot that was wider than that, took about 30 seconds away from his team's power play chance here late in the first.
Despite all the power play time the Senators gave the Devils, Ottawa lead. Right now 93 seconds remaining in Jared Cowan's second minor of the game. The one for holding he got late in period 1. So I'm not sure, as we mentioned before, Denny, I'm not sure how many times you can run your fingers through this coal pit, but sooner or later, if you keep testing the fire, you're going to get burnt. And I'm sure Paul McLean is very aware of that, and I'm sure it's been addressed. So we'll see.
A coach that has a 4-line team, admittedly, this is what Paul McLean calls his team. He also wants to get everybody plenty of ice time. This kills it.
On the power play, Zajac throws it to the net. Anderson clears it away. Back at the point. Litsky unable to hold it in, just slaps it back along the boards. Anderson tees it up there for Greiber. Off the boards, all the way back down to the line. Knocked away. Now again, Greiber. Off the boards, back down ice. Last year, the New Jersey Devils gave up in what was effectively a half a season, basically. A little bit more than a half a season. 6 shorthanded goals. The second worst in the league. Here's Mathot. Out to center, lots of space. Sends it all the way down ice. Brodeur stops it there. 25 seconds remaining to hear the bellowing from the goaltender. Carlson snares it, gets it to Mathot. Lots of time, clears it back down ice. Around the boards, here's Zach Smith trying to take away Henrique's chance to break it out. Here's Harold now. Peter Harold to center. To the line and back in again. Here's Bruner. Gets it cross ice. Henrique. Cowan is back out now. We're back to 5-on-5. Senators have burned off another one. Gets it, couldn't get it out. Gets the puck again. This time they'll walk it out. Here's Jared Cowan to center. Cowan down to the line. Throws it to the wall for Spezza. Curls it back. Reef feeds back in front. Bouncing puck in the slot. Turning with it. Carlson unable to find a friendly stick. Spezza tries to shoot, but his stick lifted by Harold at exactly the moment. Carter counters back the other way for the Devils. Carter to the line, throws the puck to the corner. Greiber trying to get there. Carter takes Greiber down. Spezza comes back to help, though. Spezza with a 200-foot game. Here's Zubrus in behind the net. Ryan Carter out the other side. Plays it to the point. Larson with a shot. And a blocker saved by Anderson. And then he intentionally punches it by the Devils forwards. Spezza at the line. Draws 2 to him. Still holding onto the puck. Finally taken off of it.
What a shift by Spezza. You nailed a 200-foot game by Captain Spezza. I will tell you something about Jason Spezza. Big game when needed with the 3 goals in Phoenix. But here's a guy who really wants to be a captain and make an impact in that way.
On the boards. Allen tips the puck ahead, but Kassian unable to get out with it. So we'll try this again. Back to the point. Zidlitsky throws across ice. Salvador at the line. Sends a shot through. It's kicked away again by Anderson. Condor trying to control it. Bouncing the puck to Phillips. Phillips delays. Didn't see the pass he liked, so he just flipped it back out to center. Inside the zone. Devils trying to get something going. Ryder moving in. Ryder couldn't get the shot away as Condor stayed on it. Feeds the point. Back along the boards. Ryder again. Condor stays on it. Now Turris finds the loose puck. Sprints back to center with it. Trying to change. Turris stays out there. His line mates now join him. As Andy Green picks it up in behind his own net. Long lead pass down to the Ottawa line, and that one whistled down. Face off. Back down the double zone.
Tickets for the first half of the season are on sale now, including this Saturday afternoon's game versus the Edmonton Oilers. For more information, visit capitaltickets.ca.
2 o'clock start. Hope you can join us for our pregame show at 1:30.
Well, we talked about the guys that New Jersey has lost, and one of them is obviously Kovalchuk, a pure goal scorer. Even with Kovalchuk in the lineup last year, this New Jersey team was the second lowest scoring team in the NHL on a goals per game basis. So you can see where they do have a lot of opportunities, but you need who they call finishers. Devils don't have a lot of them right now. Well, they have one, but he's 41 years old.
That's the problem. Yonder still has the wonderful hands, but never a gifted, speedy skater, and in today's game, it's even more apparent. But he was so good when you get in tight and so good in front of the net. He can still make contributions. He just can't be the only guy. I mean, we've highlighted the big names that New Jersey has lost. They've had a great deal of turnover last year to this. We've talked about Kovalchuk and Clarkson, but Sullivan is also gone. There's a shot right on. Save is made by Brodeur. MacArthur tries to swing it back to Weirtage. Feeds the point. Turris tries to drop it off. Bobby Ryan steals it back. Gets it across. Carlson back to the box. Turris tries to swing it back in front. Puck is loose. MacArthur. You can see he was eyeing Carlson, but couldn't get it there cleanly to him. Turris' pass wasn't in the wheelhouse for MacArthur. Now the Devils just want it out and they send it out. As mentioned, Kovalchuk, Clarkson, but Sullivan, Ponikarovsky, D'Agostini, Tallinder, Kostopoulos, Barch, Sestito, Jansen. They've had a lot of turnover in this roster in the year. Carlson to the line, but in a step early and just barely a step was Milan McCulloch.
Well, the power play opportunity for the Ottawa Senators, as I said again, far and few between, but you'll see at the top there in the middle. That's how quickly that happened. A little too many men on the ice call, and the Senators go back on the power play. Only 15 power play opportunities coming in. DeBoer's team 15. That was the fewest in the NHL coming up to now, but that is changing quickly.
Gianna with a shorthanded chance, and Carlson comes back to take it away from him. After Phillips at the blue line thought he had things under control until he saw Gianna whipping by him. 5 seconds remaining in the power play, and here's McCulloch into the zone. Well tangled up with Salvador. Spezza along the boards. Loses the puck, and Henrique flips it back down ice.
I really think that McCulloch had the foot speed and the step on Salvador when he stayed to the outside.
Moments ago, and I told you that New Jersey had the second most shorthanded goals against last year. Well, they also had the most shorthanded goals for. They were both the yin and the yang of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think Kovalchuk got 3 of them throughout the season.
Rink wide pass right on the tape. Yager cuts in. Yager! Glove save by Anderson.
That's vintage Yager right there.
Henrique finds the late man. Green with a shot right on. Save is made, and the rebound pops over top of the net. Henrique steals it away from Carlson. Getting back, Zach Smith salvages that. Puck goes off a high stick, so we get a whistle and a face-off when we return. Big save and a pop over the net. Face-off to the left of Craig Anderson after that high stick. Clip the puck. Zach Smith will take the draw against Travis Zajac.
Another solid win by Zach Smith.
Zajac, a Winnipeg native. He, like his brothers, work in the summertime at their parents' gas station in Winnipeg. Puck is flipped all the way back down ice. Trickles down to the New Jersey net around the boards.
Must be something special about him. Winnipeg.
Yeah, you find so many great ones in Winnipeg. Here's Carlson. Slides the puck ahead. Zach Smith goes cross ice, and the thought to the line. Neal gets it in deep. Zach Smith trying to win it back. Now Green. A little pass ahead. And in the neutral zone, picked off. Phillips quickly sends it back. Neal inside the line. Loses the puck as Ryder steals it from him. Spezza gets it. Cuts away from Zubris. Through the middle. Sends it down to the line. McCulloch tips it in, but can't get it deep enough. Phillips stops it in the neutral zone. Slides it cross ice for Conacher. Conacher backhands it in behind the net. Spezza along the boards. Tries to draw it back, but he ran out of stick. Phillips tries to center the puck. It's knocked down. Devils out to center. Here's Bruner. Bruner waiting, sending him in for the tip, but he couldn't connect with Zubris. McCulloch got back nicely to wrap him up. Back the other way. Conacher to the line. Takes it wide. Sends a shot in, and Brodeur stops it and is forced to block it and snare it and hold it.
Now the Ottawa Senators have only had 9 shots, but they were pretty effective against Marty Brodeur. But here's a little story that's pretty indicative of, what happens. I mean, in 2012, to goaltenders. He has said to the media, I'm not talking game day anymore. He was a guy who had promised his dad, who was a great photographer, that he wouldn't be the celebrity. He would be helpful to the media. So he stopped talking in 212 because he said everybody else is doing it, meaning goalies. But this year he started talking to the media again this morning on game day, saying, well, that non-talking to the media is not helping our team. So he started talking, and the media around him this morning was incredible. Of course, the French media just love him, as they should.
He's a great interview all the time.
Yeah, great interview. I was very surprised when he sort of made that announcement that he was not going to be talking to the media on a game day and where he's playing, of course.
Bernier moving in, sends it in front. Gianna with a shot. Save is made by Anderson. Pounder airmails the puck back out to center. Now Carter drops it back to the wing. Yager inside the line. Slides one check. Gives it to Carter. Jared Cowan pokes it off his stick. Back to the point. Harold. Cross ice. Volchenkov loses the puck. To the corner. Elias spins away from Pounder. Back in front. Backhander makes the save. Elias gets it back again. Harold to the point. Elias walks down. Gets a shot away. That goes off two legs. Kassian tries to clear it. It's knocked down by Volchenkov to hold it in. Back to the point. Harold reaches for it. Yager gathers it up. Yager.
This must be a second period thing. Totally overmatched on the ice with that fourth line of Pajot. Totally overmatched. We got the top line, Elias, Yager, Henrique on the ice.
McCarthy drops his Turris. Backside of that, McCarthy looking for the pinching D, and it was Greiba, but he was covered. Turris tripped up on his way to the puck, and the former Senator, the A train, will be pulling into the penalty box for 2 minutes.
Local sports on Rogers TV. Your community, your teams. For the most local sports, watch Rogers TV.
My mistake, Harold, not Volchenkov.
Yeah, this is basically won the battle, did Turris. It was Volchenkov who got the penalty.
And Harold argued so much. It wasn't me. It actually wasn't him.
You know, but, well, it's a New Jersey defenseman. But that play really is, credit Turris. He took the puck away from Harold in a battle along those boards in the offensive zone and drew the penalty.
So Ottawa on the power play, and apparently Paul McLean sending out a small message to his skill players as he's got Neal, Smith, Greening out there on the power play with Greiba and Phillips.
Still got a retired killing penalty. There's Turris who just came off the ice. Before that, you had the special line, and then like I talked about before, I mean, Paul McLean is very conscious of wanting to maintain that four-line team. The last line on the ice was Pajot, for instance, and then maybe he just wasn't feeling like he's giving this line enough ice time, so they'll give him a little power play time early.
Gianna tries to get it up, but it goes off a stick up and out of play. So a faceoff will come outside the line with 67 seconds to go in the Ottawa power play. And now Spezza comes up.
Well, there's a need to make this power play happen, meaning end up with a goal, because those penalties that Ottawa took at the end of the first period, that has had its effect. You could see where the momentum changed. And the early part of this period, or even halfway through this period, it really was the New Jersey Devils who looked to be the better team. And that is a consequence of a changing momentum.
Volchenkov fires the puck back down inside the Ottawa end. Here's Spezza in the corner. Delay snaps it ahead, trying to play the bounce game with Erik Karlsson, but they couldn't connect, and that one whistled down on an offside call. Zubris came in to try and break it up before he'd ever actually cleared the zone.
Now Jason Spezza having played so well, or had things work out so well in that game in Phoenix, that really made the team breathe a sigh of relief on the way down. Hat trick, that would have been his, that is his fifth hat trick of his career.
Face-off win by Turris. Phillips along the boards. Gets hung up with Zajac. Kicks it back to Turris out to center. To the line and in. Bobby Ryan gives it to Phillips. Phillips inside the zone, and his former defense partner, Anton Volchenkov, knocks it away from him and sends it back down ice. Phillips out to center for Bobby Ryan. Lead pass into the zone. But Karlsson was 2 steps early and nearly pulled a groin trying to stop and keep it onside.
Tough, because you really had a really well set up play. There's not a lot of room in the neutral zone between the blue lines. So when you get a guy with speed like Turris had right there, you can see Volchenkov was pretty much flat-footed. Take it away. A pretty good scoring opportunity on the rush by going outside.
Off the draw, Wierkosh. Cross ice and puck is flipped in. Driver will go and chase it, but doesn't get there in time. Back to the point, held in by Wierkosh. But only momentarily now to center. Here comes Green. Down the line, followed by Chris Neal. Green put the brakes on. Back in front, here's a wrap around the table, loose puck. Anderson somehow gets back, it's still loose. They dive for it. How did he get back? Green. Penalty has expired, obviously. Zalewski back in front, loose puck swatted away by Neal. Back outside the line, and the Devils have to come back out again. How did Anderson get back?
Panic.
To the corner, Neal. Goes in to try and spring it free from Green. Out to center now. Bernier to the line. Bernier backhanded in front. Sedlicki was taken off the puck at the last second. Nice defensive play by Jared Cowan to get back and wrap him up. On the boards, puck out to center. Conacher tips it before he's taken down along the boards. Spezza goes in to try and steal the puck away from Salvador, and does, but can't get around Yager. Conacher now going to chase Salvador down. Out to center goes, deflected all the way back down ice. And that will go for an icing call and a face-off. Let's try and figure out exactly how Anderson kept this puck out. He was turning around looking the wrong way.
Listen, he's made some very key saves and key plays, and this is what you're talking about right here. He goes around the wrong side of the net to get back. One would think that he would have gone back, but taking the long way around the net. The net is shorter now and they're less bulky. He still took the long way around, and a little bit of a hope play, don't you think?
Well, still made, if you look at it, made a left pad save, although the pad was pointing into the net. Here, watch his left pad. Makes the leg save here. There's no padding on that side, Craig.
Thank you very much. I hope I get it. And he did.
I'll have a bruise I can't see, but that's fine.
But there were a couple of times when, early in the period, he had made some key saves. Still a 2-0 hockey game in favor of the Senators because he made timely saves.
Well, in the summertime at goalie school, you don't teach it that way, but at the end of the day, any goalie coach will tell you, while it may not be written down, stopping the puck is job one, and that's what he did. Still a 2-0 Ottawa lead. Face off to the left of Anderson. Senators have been outshot in period number 2, 8-2. And there's 7 minutes left to go in the period. To the line, MacArthur pulls back, swings it in behind the net. Salvador gets away from Turris. Here's the puck out. It bounces, skips. Karlsson drops it back to Methot. Methot now runs it around the boards as he is run by Matty Tedenby. Wrap around attempt. Turn back shot. Doesn't work. Karlsson trying to get a handle on Tedenby, who sends it in front, misses all of his teammates, and ends up putting it on the stick of MacArthur. Now Turris tries to cut through. To the corner it goes. Bobby Ryan is going to get called for hooking here as he lifts the stick of Salvador for Turris to get the puck.
This HD broadcast presented by Bell 5 TV. Watching hockey just got better.
There it is. Still comes up. That's the call.
Bobby Ryan was tell from the conversation trying to imply that he simply lifted the stick, and that's not hooking. That was Not the agreement, though. I'm talking with the officials who tonight, by the way, are Chris Ruben and Darcy Burchell. So another power play for the Devils. Litsky to the line, sends it wide for Green. Dumps it to the corner. Centering pass deflected away by Anderson as he got a stick on the puck before Zajac did.
Good work there by Anderson. The easiest play. You know, the nets are a little tighter this year. They're not so bulbous on the outside. So I think that, you know, there are problems for goaltenders. Wraparounds are probably a little easier, but also gives them more responsibility. They've got to use their stick to stop those tight passes that are close to the goalpost and trying to get out to the front of the net. I think you're going to see a lot more goaltenders being more active with their goalie stick because they have to.
Anderson, in fact, tipped that puck away from Bernier, not Zajac. Down to the line and in. Green tips it to the boards. Here is Bernier. Tries to send it back to the point. He's rejected there. Rejected in the corner. Puck comes free. Litsky winds up his shot. Deflected on the way to the net. Bouncing puck in front. It's chopped back outside the line as Spezza knocks his own stick in half. To the line and in. Bernier lets it go. Here's Henrique now. Goes it to the side of the net. Pajot replaces Spezza, and the puck is cleared back down ice by Jared Cowan. He and Phillips get off the ice along with McCulloch. And 3 fresh sets of legs now join Pajot. 35 seconds to go in this Devils power play. Here's Elias to the line. Streams in, but offside the call. And the Devils seemingly, Denny, just cannot buy a break in this game. They have had some great opportunities, just can't get any bounces at all.
I will offer to say that the Senators have been a little bit lucky or fortunate at this point. I mean, Bruner, who we talked about, 3 goals, leads the team. And he's got the wide open net, left side of his screen. Look, it bounces over his stick. It doesn't lay flat. That's not the first time it's happened to one of the players from the New Jersey Devils. They have been in control of this period.
They have more than doubled Ottawa on shots, now 20-9. They have not yet scored a goal in this game. Into the zone they go again. They have had the advantage. A dramatic one on the number of power plays. But here's a shot by Ryder that goes over top of the net, deflected there. Back to the corner. Greiber is waiting for the puck. Centering pass. That's knocked down. Ryan is back out. Harold gets it to Yager. Yager, his shot. Blocker saved by Anderson. Another shot. That one doesn't get through. Greiber along the boards. Here's Harold at the point waiting for it. Gets it from Elias. His one-timer. Deflected in front by Connery. Back to even strength hockey. Connery just floats it back down to the Devils' end. That'll get Ottawa the change they need. No icing called. Back to the point. Jared Cowan keeps the puck alive in the Devils' end. Turris leads in the corner. Ryan goes and leans on Harold. Now Ryan in the corner. Spins to get away from Harold, but falls. On the board, Zubris waiting for it. Tries to clear the puck out, can't do it. MacArthur drops it. There's a shot by Wiercauch, low and wide. Here's a giveaway. Ryan gets a shot away, and that one deflects into the glass. If not for Teddenby there, that's a great chance for Ryan. Back to the point. Cowan with a shot, low and wide. Side of the net, that one hits the post. On the side of the net, not in a great shooting position still. MacArthur got a decent chance of it. Spezza to the line, delays and then shovels it to the corner. Volchenkov takes the hit from MacArthur along the boards. Carter now loses the puck. Spezza sends it back in front to the point. Carlson back across. Mathot takes it off the boards. Doesn't have a shot, just gets it deep again. Ottawa changing the Devils with a chance to get it out. In the neutral zone, knocked down by Carlson. But then turnstiled himself around it so that the Devils couldn't find the puck. From center, puck is driven back in the zone. Carlson knocks it down, plays whistle down, and the face-off comes all the way back out. 2-0 Ottawa leads. Could have been 3-0. Clark MacArthur chimes the
Turned home, and the mood was light today at the game day skate. Eric Condra took to the ice and did his best goaltender impersonation. No, that's not Craig Anderson or Robin Lehter, as Eric Condra, and based on how Anderson is playing right now and just how superstitious goalies are, if that's Anderson's mask he's wearing, this very well could become a routine.
Actually, I believe that is Robin Lehter's first mask. He got a new mask that he's got going, and with that stitching you see on Condra's chin there, he is a very lucky man. If you didn't catch it, maybe you can dig up the video of it. In that Phoenix game, skate came up and caught him in the face for several stitches, but that was one of those situations where he was maybe a centimeter or two away from needing 300 stitches, like I mean a Boreas almond deal. It was very scary.
I tell you, it was Phoenix, it was Shane Doan, obviously an accident. Nobody, it's one of those things, and you're right, he was so lucky.
Whew. We'll dig that up. It was late, people may not have seen that, but that's one of those ones where when you see him with the stitches in the chin, you go, that's a great ending to that story, because it could have been so much worse. Here's Jagr. The Devils try to get up, bouncing it down to the Ottawa line. Off the boards, back out to center. Spezza to the line. Puts the brakes on, finds the late man. Carlson cutting in, backdoor scores! Oh, what a setup from Erik Karlsson. Zach Smith finishes it off, but what a pass by Erik Karlsson.
You want to get all of your teammates involved? Well, you do it this way, because all of the eyes are going to be on you. Erik Karlsson, an opportunity to slice in. Look at him coming in. He wants that puck. You can see how everyone converges on him. But the peripheral vision allows him to see teammate there, and there's really not a chance for Marty Brodeur. Zach Smith getting his second and an all-important play to get the level back in the favor of the Ottawa Senators, his third goal.
Zach Smith looking for more, tries to wheel it to the front of the net. Phillips tries to gamble and come down the wall, and now he works to get back as he takes down his man at the line. We're going to get a penalty here as he buries Damian Brunner at the line, forcing everybody else offside, but he will get, I'm sure, an interference call for that. Phillips heads off. And the Devils will go back to the power play with just under a minute remaining in period number 2.
Well, it's a little bit getting caught behind the play and having a bit of a panic as Chris Phillips tried to make the play, not a bad one, tried to stop the play before he got started at the offensive blue line, got caught a little bit behind and then forced him to make a play that he didn't want to, pulling down the opponent.
Carlsson tries to bag Jagr to clear the puck. Not the puck, couldn't get it out. Elliott in the corner. Trying to work it back to the front of the net. Stick from Greiba comes up and catches Eliash in the face. It was accidental, but it is still a penalty. So a 1 minute and 42 second 5-on-3 for the New Jersey Devils.
This has got to be driving Coach Paul McLean crazy. There's Brian Murray. He understands. You just don't need, when you're killing a penalty, to make those kinds of play. I mean, you've got to keep your positioning, which is the most important. You don't want to get caught in a one-on-one battle. That leaves 4-on-3, which are worse odds for your team. Sometimes you've got to use your better judgment and leave a guy in the corner. It's not going to hurt you. That is a tough call to make. I know it looks accidental, but for Greiba to take a penalty deep in the corner while you're killing a penalty, good use of the ice.
Here's Jagr. Devils move it around on the goal line. Ryder drops it back. Eliash. Only one true defenseman on the ice for the Devils. Ryder. Zajac in front, gets it back to Eliash. Zidlicki with it now. Wines doesn't fire. Yager one-timer, and Anderson gets a piece of it with the blocker. Yager again wanted the shot, but had to turn to take the pass. Zidlicki, Yager, one-timer, fan zone. It's a second one, but it's after the buzzer, and the Devils' frustrations continue. Minute 19 to go in Greiber's penalty, 1:01 to go in Phillips. A 3-0 Ottawa lead, but they will come back to face a 5-on-3 Devils power play. McLean, Kyprios, and your host, Darren Millard, will break this down. Hockey Central, take it away. Let's have a look at our second period scoring summary, brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, and big screen TVs.
Well, I think if we are a fly in the wall, you'll hear Paul McLean say, forget those stats, boys. Stay out of the penalty box. Discipline is in order. Zach Smith getting his second for a 3-goal lead.
Ice level now. Here's Sean and Jason.
Thank you, Dean Yorkie. Yes, the Senators are up 3-0, but they only managed 4 shots on net in the second period. What do they have to do to create more chances?
Well, it's been a little bit of a sloppy game so far, especially for the Senators. They're just passing up way too many shooting opportunities, especially on the power play. Too much emphasis of working the puck on the outside, trying seam passes when they're not there. When you got a good shot, you got to take it, just like Bobby Ryan from the goal line earlier. Carlson earlier with his shot that started the scoring off. It got so bad that during the 10-minute mark of that period, Paul McLean had enough and finally said, you know what, I'm going to put Neil, Zach Smith, and Colin Greening on for that power play. And when you know when things are going that poorly, when they throw the third line on, that's a coach sending a message to his hockey team to start shooting the puck more.
Thank you, Yorkie. Dean, Denny.
Thanks, boys. Pass in front, knocked down, tipped away in front of the net to the corner. Cowan tries to pop the puck out. Devils hold it in. 35 seconds to go in the 5-on-3 power play for the Devils. Back to the point. Zidlicki lines, fires. Save is made. Loose puck. Ryder can't get it over Anderson. Puck is cleared to the corner. Anderson, another big save. Back to the point. Zidlicki with a shot. Another save. Cowan trying to clear the puck. Can't get on it. Back to the point again. Devils keep it alive. Eliash's shot knocked down by Condra. Tries the pass to the corner. Sandlin finds Zidlicki coming in the other side and scores! And it is a 5-on-3 goal, so the Devils will stay on the power play.
Well, they had 61 seconds to get themselves on the board with a 5-on-3 advantage, and they've done it with 7 seconds remaining. Never able to get the stick in the lane or on the puck. The Ottawa Senators were never able to get the puck back, and albeit Anderson making some good saves, just could not control all of the opportunities given the opposing team. So Zajac getting the team on the board, and they have been building momentum throughout the second period and early in the third have the New Jersey Devils, primarily because of the undisciplined penalty taking of the Ottawa Senators.
Zajac gets his first goal of the game. He now has 99 in his NHL career. Last season he got like 7 goals and only 1 on the power play, so he has already equaled his power play totals as far as goals are concerned from last season.
Chris Riddy just ducked from the puck that was shot in, went to the ice. One good figure, the fans cheer.
They send it back in front, 3 whacks at it. Bernier takes a 4th before he spun around. And the power play now over. So we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Ottawa Senators giving up the power play goal.
28 shots on goal now for the New Jersey Devils. You probably get credited for a couple here, I would think.
Kosh off the draw, face-off win by Turris. He got the edge on Lockdown. Long lead pass for Turris just missed, and that'll bring the icing call and a face-off back down inside the Senators' end. Sporting the 2-goal lead, but again, as Denny mentioned, badly outshot. Now 29-11 in the game. After being outshot in that second period, 11-4.
Well, this was a team last year that really prided itself on not allowing that second or third shot, the rebound, Now, of course, because of penalties, it's becoming almost commonplace.
Sounders last season, the second best defensive team in the league in average goals against per game. Number 2 in the NHL. They averaged just 2.08 goals against per game. Here's Bobby Ryan to the line. Tries to slide the puck through for a surging Wiercauch, but they just couldn't connect. Puck is slapped back out to center. Jared Cowan now back through the middle. Curtis didn't like the looks of things. Gives it back to Wiercauch. He throws it down ice, forcing Brodeur to play it. Steers it back to the net. Larson around the boards. Devils break it out. Here's Zubras to the line. Lucas plays it to the corner. Anderson around the boards, and Clark MacArthur out to center. Feeds it ahead. Bobby Ryan. And that delay is an offside call.
Don't miss the rematch as the Anaheim Ducks visit Canadian Tire Center October 25th. Then it's the Sharks on the 27th. For more information, go to capitaltickets.ca.
We saw both those teams firsthand, Denny, and I can tell you the Anaheim Ducks and San Jose Sharks are both very impressive hockey teams.
You think that's getting a little frustrating there? That's the second time. You remember the second period, Cal Turd had a full head of steam going across the blue line, and Carlson was offside. This time it was teammate Ryan that was offside. And you really, you can see the Turds was frustrated by it, and I don't blame him. Killing your own offensive opportunities on the rush.
Pollock comes in, takes the draw, and wins it over Steven Gianta. Yes, he is the brother of. Off the boards and back out, Carter sends it. Racing down to his own end to get it, McCulloch. And Bernier grabbing onto him on the way there. Bernier now. To the Carter. Ryan Carter back to the point. Green, traffic in front, fires a shot in. That's blocking the way to the net. Spin around chance, that's knocked down, puck bounces up in the air. Anderson dives forward and gets on top of it. Gallagher got wrapped up with Steven Gianta. A couple of heavyweights.
That one will tell you, just too much action going around Craig Anderson right now. And there you see again Carter trying to establish himself. Doesn't have to work hard right now. The New Jersey Devils are getting a lot of good positioning in front of the net and opportunities. 30 shots on goal at this moment. 12 for the Ottawa Senators.
Henrique and Zach Smith in the circle. Thomas Cameron drops the puck. Yager has it knocked off his stick by Neal, but then gets it back. Neal gets on him again, slides it back to the net. Elias plays it back to the point. Larson with a shot that misses low and wide off the boards. What a save!
Unbelievable.
What a save by Anderson. Yager was right there, got the backhand away, and somehow Anderson knocked it down.
You're going to have to appreciate watching the replay on this one. Yager, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, just floats into the open area, gets the backhand in. He can make that backhand as well as anybody. And somehow the palate of the hockey stick gets in the way. That is an outstanding save by Craig Anderson, who has been under a barrage of New Jersey shots. Maybe none more dangerous than that one.
Shot through traffic, goes off the leg of Colin Greening, and he takes the pass and now heads down to the Devils line. Greening takes it wide, gets a shot away. Brodeur knocks it down. Greening able to try and win the puck back, forces Larson to turn back. Devils lead pass out to center. Dumped back to the New Jersey line by Greiber. Henrique could go nowhere with it as big Greiber just pressed him into the boards as the puck arrived in the neutral zone. Phillips turns for a little skate in his own zone, gives it to Greiber. Greiber out to center, plays it ahead. Harold tries to drive it back in, but the puck goes out of play.
The MLB playoffs continue tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's NLCS Game 6. The LA Dodgers versus the St. Louis Cardinals tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet East, Ontario West, and Pacific.
There you go. Later on tonight, we plan to head off after this game and bring you the Tigers and the Red Sox. Game 5 of the ALCS. Carlson gets it ahead. Here's Turris inside the line. Slides it off back in front. Beautiful pass. Bobby Ryan couldn't get a shot away as MacArthur was in a shooting lane and elected to make a pass. It was one of those spots you were talking about, Danny, where when you have that shot, you got to take that shot.
Well, if Paul McLean was upset about not shooting enough in the second or first period, there's an opportunity for him to get mad again. Right, MacArthur should have taken that shot.
That was dumped down inside the Ottawa zone. Tedenby can't get there in time. And the Senators get it back out to center. MacArthur had it knocked off his stick. Carlson flips the loose puck down deep inside the zone. On the wing, Ryan gives it away. Spezza with a steal, throws the puck back low to the corner. Brodeur out of the net. Back along the boards, he plays it himself. Nice pass again, Ryder. Goes wide side. Back play in front of the net, goes nowhere, and Spezza picks up the rebound. Floats it back out and down to the Jersey line. Conacher to chase it, gets in on Zidlitsky. Zidlitsky falls, and he's slow in getting up in the corner. Now slowly making his way back to the New Jersey bench. He's shaken up. Weirkoch. In the neutral zone finds McCulloch. McCulloch goes wide. Sends a shot in, bad angle. Brodeur makes the save. Back in the corner. Spezza clears a path for himself by just knocking down Damian Brunner, who intended on picking him. So rather than wait for the interference call, just knock the guy down. Jared Cowan sends it ahead. Out to center. Pajot. Let's play Salvador into the boards with some vigor. Jared Cowan now reverses the puck. Weirkoch bouncing it ahead. Salvador holds it in. Henrique looks through the middle. That's broken up by Matt Kassian. Out to center. Cowan dumps it in. Kassian goes to get it. He and Salvador go to the boards together. Puck hops up in the air. Pajot tips it to himself. Phillips gets a shot away right on loose puck. Side of the net, and Condra misses the open net. Now he loses an edge, falls, and the Devils back the other way. They peel off the change as Elias tips it in. Zach Smith fires the puck in from center. Round the boards. Green puts it back to the net. Zach Smith in to try and steal it. Gianta, though, tipped it away from him. Out to the neutral zone. Here's Mafat. Steers it back down to the Devils line. Greening. Bouncing it down to the Devils line, but not deep enough. Well, Zach Smith comes across and knocks Steven Gianta off the puck, but not before the Devils dump it in. Here's Carlson. Peels the puck off. Mafat clears it, but not far enough to get it out of the zone. Devils now going to take advantage of some sloppy Ottawa clearing. Out to center. Here's Green. Sends it in loose. Puck. Carlson comes up and nearly catches Brodeur. Carlson still with it. Tries to fire it through. Goes off a leg as Volchenkov blocks it. Carlson gets it to Weirkoch. To the line. Here's MacArthur. To the line and in. As Turris is knocked down. On his way to the puck. Bobby Ryan centers the puck. It slides by everybody back through center and down to the Ottawa end. Weirkoch now from back of his own net. Bobby Ryan. It's Jared Cowan. Gets to the line, but Turris is in a step early. A 2-goal lead for the Senators here in the third on Canadian Tire. Senators hockey. When you're facing the wrong way and you still make the save, that's a good save. There's Larson in his own zone, chasing it down. Over the center, former first-round pick Larson gets it across. Salvador fires it in. Anderson slows it down. Carlson couldn't handle the pass. Back along the board. Salvador couldn't hold it in. Conacher trying to get by him. Does. Conacher pulls his way through. Looks across. Slides it in front. McCulloch couldn't get a stick on it. Big second effort from Conacher just to get open and get the puck.
Sometimes being short and stocky helps. A bowling ball is hard to stop along the board. And that's what was going on there with Conacher as he got himself through and almost got the puck to McCulloch. That was good use of the stick by Brodeur to avoid that perfect pass across the crease.
Back to the point. Volchenkov with a shot knocked down in front. Loose puck to McCulloch. Gives it to Mafat. Conacher now looking for a safe out. That may not have been it, but still they will likely get out of the zone. Mafat clears the puck ahead, and finally they do get to center. Slip down to the line. Here's Zach Smith. Delays, looking for changes to come. Whips it around the boards on the other side. Jared Cowan tries to come down the wall, and he was hassled all the way to the puck by Bruner. Now Zubris. Put into the boards by Greeny in the neutral zone. The Devils make their way to the line. Bruner gets it cross ice. The wrist pass in front goes off the leg and back up ice. Here's Chris Neal. Neal puts the shoulder down, cuts in. Tried to go for the backhand, but lost the puck at the last second. Henrique down to the Ottawa line. He's driving now. Henrique on him. Driver finds the open man, and the Senators get out with it. Here's MacArthur. Cross ice. Turris leaves it in the corner, then falls. Back to the point. Phillips, no shot, gives it back. Turris along the boards, wrapped up. And the Devils now trying to get out of their own zone. Puck is chopped back to the neutral zone, and Drago will chase it. Quickly fire it back to the line. Pass off the stick of Bobby Ryan. Drago just dumps it back in, but everybody has to clear. So everybody heads off on a change except for Chris Phillips, who comes across and deals with Ryan Carter. In behind the net. Here's Bernier trying to get away from Cassian. Cassian trying to stay on him. Gianna out the other side. Gianna falls. Back to net. Phillips clears it along the boards. Gianna gets a shot, bad angle. Anderson makes the save and holds on. There's now Phillips and Carter decide they do not want to agree with each other. Now time for the hardest working Senator, brought to you by Marks. Ready for this?
Well, you tell me if these are good decisions by tonight's hardest working Senator. Carlson, one-on-one. Gets a goal, much needed for his confidence. In the play, makes a great pass. Good peripheral vision. Many good decisions by Erik Karlsson in tonight's hockey game.
Karlsson with a goal and an assist in this game. And he has been very active. Puck trickles to the side of the net. Anderson gloves it and holds on for another face-off to his left. He and Karlsson have a chat about that.
Erik Karlsson playing in his 240th game in the NHL. Already has the Norris Trophy under his belt, and I am a big proponent of the 300 game mark. You really become an NHLer after 300 games. He's done so much that he's not quite there yet.
Scores! Off the crossbar and in for Bernier, and it's a one-goal game.
Not going to stop all of them. That one, Bernier from the top of the circle. Off the crossbar and in, and again, tough situation right off the face-off circle. A man is left wide open, and that's Bernier. Now, maybe Karlsson could have been in front of him. Maybe Spezza could have been behind him a little tighter, but that puck found a seam onto Bernier's stick, and it's a whole new hockey game.
The 3-0 lead the Senators enjoyed after 2 periods of play has now become an uncomfortable 1-goal lead with 9 minutes remaining here in the third period. And off the draw, the Devils again inside the zone, trying to bust through, trickles to the net, puck is lying there, and finally we get a whistle as Anderson throws the arm in the air to signify, I've got it, whistle please.
I think at the very least that would have looked like a hand pass by the New Jersey Devils, and I think that's what we're getting. That's where the faceoff's going to come out of the blue line, outside the blue line. There's the hand, there's the receiver, and I think the hand belonged to a Devil, and the receiver was a Devil.
And the Devils drive it in along the boards. Jared Cowan is nailed from behind and wants to get his stick loose so he can go and exact some revenge. Ottawa's going to get a power play out of this, and I believe Tedenby is likely going to get his name put in a black book that Jared Cowan keeps in his locker of people he'd like to destroy. Cross ice, Spezza moves in, wheels it back in front, line there on the crease. Wiercauch can't get to it. Whistle goes, Brodeur slow in getting up.
I wonder if it's something else. Remember, he had the left shoulder collarbone was sore. He's very slow getting up. But let's take a look at the penalty right there. Tedenby coming in from behind, and that is the call. Fortunately, Cowan is not hurt. But Tedenby going to the penalty box. That is a hit right in the numbers.
Already tonight, as I'm sure many of you hockey fans have heard, in the Avs Detroit game, Cody McLeod hit Nicholas Kronwall from behind, had to be stretchered off the ice, and pretty much everybody's getting sick of the near daily stories. Players receiving boarding match penalties and injuries. Dan Boyle now out of hospital, which is good news, but there's just too many of these stories. It's to the line and in. Here's McCulloch. He's over 3 in the power play with just 2 shots. Back to the point. Carlson. Drives the line. Phillips moves in, looking for the tip in front. Phillips. Drops it back. McCulloch now. Back to the point. Spezza manning the position. It's Carlson. Gives it away. Catches up to Henrique and takes it back. Now Spezza to the line and in. Spezza sends it around the boards on the other side. Wiercauch comes down to try and beat Bernier to the puck, but he hacks it off the boards and back out.
Now the value of this man advantage is huge to the Ottawa Senators at this stage. They can gain that 2-goal lead they had, take a little pressure off themselves.
His glove down by Volchenkov, who now will flip it all the way back down ice. Wiercauch along the boards. Carlson now. Up to center, Turris. Drops it for Ryan, but not a fluid entry into the zone. Wiercauch in from the point. Back to the net to pick it up. Stripped of the puck. And an easy clearing by the Devils now as Carter just lofts it all the way back down ice. Anderson has to send it around the boards as Gianna is in to try and disrupt things. Up to center now. Bobby Ryan to the line. Last rush of the man advantage. Ryan goes wide. Puck is knocked down. Back the other way. Carter tries to go through the middle with it. Larson just dumps it off. Tedenby out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Bobby Ryan tries to shovel it through the middle. Can't get it through. Yager now lays it along the boards. Elias pushed out the puck by MacArthur. Back to the net. Phillips races over to get it. Turns away from pressure. Sends it straight through the middle. And now to center. Here's Zach Smith. Smith tries to flip it to the corner. Instead it goes off a stick and up and out of play. A 1-goal lead for the Senators here late in the third.
By the New Jersey Devils has now made this game a 1-goal game.
Senators drive it in. Gets by everybody. Zach Smith gets it back low to the corner.
12 of the 35 shots New Jersey Devils have came from having the man advantage.
Trying to pin the puck and hold on to it. In some kind of control. You hear the linesman yelling to move it. And so Elias does. Skates it to the Ottawa line, dumps it in. Phillips in together. Young in behind the net. Phillips run advance to the puck. And the Senators back to center with it. Greeny cross corners the puck. Brodeur slows it down. Here's Zidlicky back along the boards. Ottawa changing. That allows the Devils to gallop out of their own end. Here's Green. Andy Green down to the Ottawa line. Leaves it there. Tedenby cross corners the puck. Centering pass redirected in front. A glancing blow off the pad of Anderson. As Green just redirected that puck. Here's McCulloch and Connaughton. McCulloch line fire. Scores! William McCulloch blasts it over the shoulder of Brodeur.
Doesn't get any better than this for Milan McCulloch. That was a blast, without a doubt. That was a terrific shot. His second goal of the season, but you be the judge. Was Marty Brodeur fooled on this? Was it deflected off of the stick? Did Bryce Salvador get a piece of that puck that may have fooled Marty Brodeur?
I think so.
I think so. I think it has to have happened, where that puck went off of Bryce Salvador's stick and just jetted up to the top shelf. Irrespective of how it went in, it's a huge goal for the Senators.
They'll throw it at the net to get a break at the net.
Yeah.
Here's Volchenkov. Leaves it there to the line and in. Puck is trickled and wobbled to the corner by Loptiano. Down the boards. Here he is again, the young Russian, former LA King. Back to the point. Volchenkov with a shot. Redirected to the other side. Harold in from the point. Angled off by Weirkosh. Just finally chopped through center. Back down ice by Ryan. Icing is waved off as it went off Volchenkov. Now the Devils. Trying to work it back to the Ottawa line. Trying to turn the corner. Cutting in Giotto with a shot. Save is made by Anderson. Driver. Sent the loose puck back to the corner. Now to harm's way. Back in front again. Quick wrister that goes off the blocker of Anderson. Back to the point. Green pinches in. Off the boards. Neal. He stood up on the play as he sends it out. And Carter got the shoulder into him. Brodeur again out of the net. Flips it back. Licky along the boards. Here's Bernier with it. Out to center. Floats it to the neutral zone. Giada dumps it in. Lead pass up on the right side for McCulloch. McCulloch off the boards. Peter Harold recovers and taps it off his stick. Here's Jacques again to the Ottawa line. Brodeur goes to the bench. Net is empty. Conacher. Now Brodeur had to turn back. Shot off the shoulder. Well, the left shoulder hurt for most of the game after that early shot. Now the right shoulder's going to hurt.
I know.
Brodeur's not having a fun night. Now he heads to the bench. Here's Ryder. Tried to get around Mafat. Couldn't do it. So then he tackles Mafat. Pad save by Anderson. In from the point. Here's Green. Drops it back. Yager now. Yager. Gets away from the hook. Sends it in front. Bouncing puck. Bernier trying to jam away at it. Scramble. Puck is still loose. Anderson covers it.
Somehow it feels like this should not be such a tense ending to this hockey game, although the New Jersey Devils, who have not won in 6 starts, desperately trying to find a way to get back. Certainly a subpar performance by the Hall of Famer Marty Brodeur has put him in a panic situation where they're trying to get something going. With you seldom see, with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game, the coach pull the goaltender. Now there's 2:22 remaining in the game, and Marty Brodeur goaltender still not back. So they do have a long way to go. Down by 2, the New Jersey Devils. But what else are you going to do as coach Pete DeBoer trying to get some offense?
Well, they're going to review this goal mouth play just to make sure. And Chris Rooney lets everyone know that they did not cross the goal line.
Well, Pete DeBoer's had a decision to make. A lot of people wondered, how is he going to work that new young goaltender of the future, Schneider, into the plan? So far, coming into tonight, each goaltender has seen 3 starts. This is the 4th for Marty Brodeur.
Shot through traffic, deflected in front. Anderson side of the net, leaves it there. On the boards, cleared back to the point. Litsky holds it in. Puck goes off Bobby Ryan and up into the bench. The faceoff will stay down inside the Ottawa end.
Now that's why you saw the player so adamant at saying, hey, went off the defending team's player. That way they get the faceoff in the Ottawa Senators zone, and again, trying to create themselves any opportunity they can to be able to get another crack at Craig Anderson, who's played very, very well tonight. He's already faced 41 shots.
Carlson with a goal and 2 assists. Spezza with 2 assists. Bobby Ryan with a goal and an assist as the Senators iced the puck. It went off Green at the point, so icing waved off. And Elias moves it across. 50 to go in regulation time. New Jersey net is empty. Stolen away, knocked down. Spezza empty net and buries it.
You know, they're trying to make the right play by the Devils coming out of their zone. Bobble the puck. And as you would expect, Mr. Opportunist right on top to get it. Spezza, here's what happens right there. A little bit of a miscue. Jágr given the puck by defenseman Andy Green. Not a clean handoff, really. The puck's taken off the stick of Jágr, and there you have it. The insurance goal, making it 5-2 by Jason Spezza.
3-point night now for Spezza with a goal and 2 helpers. Dump back to the line and out. Spezza now with 5 goals on the season. 4 in his last 2 games after the hat trick in Phoenix. Condra gets the assist on the play. Anderson, though, you'd have to say, Danny, if you're picking the Stars, and stopping pucks while he's turned the wrong way, and the paddle down save.
A couple of the paddle down saves, and key saves. At times when the future.
There's Pajot busting in. Brodeur makes the pad save on him.
When the future was tentative at best for the Ottawa Senators. There's a young man who also needs a Carlson type of goal to get himself feeling a little more confident. Pajot certainly had an education to what it's like to play in the NHL on a consistent basis. Big teams, one night after next, was having trouble in the face-off circle. That's the best chance I've seen he's had offensively all season long.
Devils clear it off the boards, back out to center. We're now with the 3-goal lead with 68 seconds to go. Barring some kind of bizarre calamity, the Senators will go on to win this game. And the Devils will continue to be the only winless team in the National Hockey League. Cutting back in front, Zupas can't get a shot through. Here's Lactiana, plays it back to the point. Harold with a shot. Had that been on the net, he may have scored because Anderson had no chance of seeing it. Here's a walkout play, centering pass, and that goes nowhere as Brunner had no one to give the puck to, and now Weirkoch throws the puck back along the boards, down inside the New Jersey end. Slapped ahead by Bolchenko. Method. Lead pass at center. Gets it to Conner. Flips it in. Pajot goes to get it. Salvador cuts in front of him. Off the boards. Tedenby sends it out to center. Swatted away at the Ottawa line. And the Ottawa Senators home opener will send almost 19,000 home. Very happy fans as the Senators win it 5-2 in their first regular season game at the Canadian Tire Center.
Well, there was concern about coming back home to that first game and the opening night. The Ottawa fans certainly gave their team a lot of support coming into this building, and the Ottawa Senators got things started quickly. That was enough to keep them going. The Senators will now wait for the arrival of the Edmonton Oilers, an afternoon game on Saturday.